We are live. Welcome to Art School Live. Today we have Sangita Phadke, is an incredible floral painter. Wait till you see what she's going to do today. But look at the beauty in the floral paintings that she's doing. I just want to show you a couple of examples. Obviously, we're going to learn all about this and how she does it. But today you want to be hanging here so that you can learn how to do florals. Today, I'm going to be giving away a prize. It'll be the Plein Air Magazine apron. This is the best apron out there for painting, and you can win it by leaving a comment in the comment section. Now, you guys ready to go? Let's get started.
It's Art School Live with Eric Rhoads. Now, here's your host, Eric Rhoads.
Well, we are glad to be here. I hope you had a terrific weekend. I want to tell you guys that you can subscribe on YouTube. All you got to do is search Streamline Art Video. And if you wouldn't mind a follow on Instagram, that would be very helpful too. Just go to Instagram and put in Eric Rhoads and hit follow. Also, want to tell you guys that we have some free things for you. We have a free video. It is a 5-hour video of 50 of the top artists that we produce, and it is called 97 Tips, 97 Incredible Art Secrets. It's a brand new one, and it's yours free. You can get a streaming video, or you can get on DVD. I think DVD you pay shipping. So our winner of the value specs was Joe Novembrino in New Hampshire. So congratulations to Joe in New Hampshire. Now let's get right to our guest, Sangita. Welcome, Sangita.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today.
Well, we're very excited to find out how you paint such beautiful flowers. What is your medium?
Pastel. I absolutely love pastel, and I can't wait to show you a little bit more about it.
I'm excited about it. You know, I was looking at a flower sitting in the window the other day, and it was just vibrating with color. And I thought, I don't know if I could get that color saturation with oils. And so I thought, I think the only way I'm going to get it is with pastels. I'm anxious to see how you do it.
That's one of the reasons why I love to do it with pastel, is because, I mean, you know, pastel is pure pigment. So when you see some of those like super vibrant, rich colors, that's why I love pastel.
Now, do you do any other mediums as well, or do you always do pastel?
I have done other mediums, but mostly I'm doing only pastel. I have focused, this is like my medium. Like I am in love with this medium. I have like researched and tested out all the different types of brands and the nuances of the brands and all the paper and everything. And I love it.
Well, we're going to hear all about that. Why don't you get your camera set up, and then we will be back with you in just 30 seconds or less, and we'll get to see how you do it. Our guest today is Sangita Phadke, and so you're going to get a chance to see how she does these incredible flowers. She is also going to be teaching at Pastel Live, our online virtual conference, and we make our conferences a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. We're doing crazy things. We have a worldwide audience, and this is coming up August 18th through 21. And some of the best pastel painters in the world are going to be painting, and you'll have a chance to do that. If you want to sign up by the 15th of August so that you can get the best possible price. And so go ahead and do that and come to Pastel Live. We have some incredible painters, including probably the greatest of all great pastel painters. It's going to be Albert Handel. It's going to be teaching. And we have a lot of other people teaching as well. So I think Sangita's got her camera pretty well lined up now, and so we're going to go back to her and learn about this. Sangita, let's just see here, full screen. Yes, okay, so you can move it a little bit to the left. That's pretty good. I think we can see your wrist photo, and we can see what you're going to be painting.
All right, we good?
We're good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing, obviously you can see the photo reference. I'm going to be painting this rose, and I did get it started. I have the black background, which I used Rembrandt black to get this sort of really, really dark. It's my favorite. And then I'm going to start going into this petal and this petal. And I saved this part of the demonstration for you guys because if you look at my photo reference, that's where like all the magic is happening in this photo. It's like this beautiful light hitting right here, and there's some really cool shadows going on right here, which I think accentuate and emphasize that beautiful color that's coming through. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to work on this portion first, and then I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. So
I noticed you've drawn it in already. You draw it in with a pencil, and are you using a sanded pastel paper?
I sure am. So what I am using is Art Spectrum Color Fix pastel paper. And I absolutely love Color Fix because it is just, it holds the pastel. Like when they say Color Fix, they're not kidding. I've had my work shipped, you know, worldwide, and sometimes the boxes, you can tell they haven't been handled properly. So there's a lot of shaking and movement going on. And when my work arrives framed, you still don't see any of that pastel dust falling, just because this paper really, really holds the pastel so wonderfully, and you can layer so much on it. So I'm kind of taking this middle value right here, and I'm going to go ahead and put it all the way across this entire section. And I'm going to take it all the way down. And I know this area is a lot brighter, but it has some of this color showing through. And so I want to make sure that I am having this color go all the way down to the bottom of the petal so that this shows through above that beautiful highlight that's coming on it. So I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to go top to bottom. So I'm going to first get in this dark section and then come back over here and brighten that up. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to start getting in some of this dark. And this is right now, I'm just laying out all the color. And then you'll see when I get to the blending portion, how it starts to transition, and you can see some of the colors kind of just going together really beautifully. All right, so I've got that. And
I have a worldwide audience today. Hello, everybody. Make sure that when you're leaving comments, you tell us where you're from. And Philippines, I see you. Welcome. Saskatoon, Oregon. Carlsbad, California. Thank you for watching.
All right, guys, I'm going to start blending this with my finger. And I'm just going like back and forth with a couple of strokes. And you can see how suddenly it's starting to, you got that rough, choppy layering of pastel, and now it's starting to smooth out a little bit. And I'm just getting the form here so that you can sort of see the rounded shape that this was taking. All right. And now I got like the basic idea here, and I'm going to come back up into this section and start getting, now I don't know if you guys can see this, in this section of the rose, there's a little bit of yellow. Can you guys see that? That little bit of yellow?
Can't really tell. It looks like it's just blown out light.
Okay, so I'm going to actually use this pastel to, it's so pretty, and I think it's a little too subtle in the photograph, so I'm going to accentuate it a little bit more and start putting in some of this yellow right here. And now I'm going to take, it's a white. We're going to take white, and we're going to start, because this part, this is where the light was hitting, right? It's really, really bright here. So even though it's more of a pink petal, so much of that, the light is hitting, it's really brightening it up. So I'm going to get that in. And then here's my, I want to say like the biggest tip I have for anyone that's wanting to do blending with pastels using their fingers. The biggest thing to not get it muddy and to not have the beautiful integrity of these colors disappear is you have to kind of dedicate, or at least I do this when I'm painting, one finger to darks when you're blending and one finger to the lights.
I love it.
Oh my God. It's like just the best tip I can give you, because you don't make the colors muddy. Everything kind of stays in their original beautiful colors. And so here I am, I'm using a totally different finger than I was before to get that light. And you can see it's starting to take shape already, just a little bit of blending. Well,
I oftentimes will use a dark and a light brush. It makes complete sense.
Exactly. It's like a dark and light brush.
I apologize. I understand my audio is bad today. Hers is good. Well, she's all that you need. So I'll just shut up and let her paint. Having internet issues where I am.
But yeah, so I get that question a lot when I'm teaching, is that how do you get your colors not to get muddy and keep them, in their pure format? And I think the best advice I can give you is to make sure that you are keeping your fingers clean. And again, dark and light. That's the biggest tip if you're going to take anything out of this. And now I have the form. You can start to see it coming through. Before there's some really cool like veining details in the petal here. But before I do that, I want to put this in just to make, a lot of times when you get all of the colors in here, suddenly this seems a little off. And I can already see I definitely want to brighten that up, but I'm going to go ahead and get this one in. And I'm really excited about doing this one. This color here is so stunning, and I want to capture it. And I just found this perfect sort of, I want to say it's like a bright red that will go right here. And I'm just going to sort of put in where that's going to go. So the shape is sort of like this. That's where that beautiful color is. And again, it comes down a little bit here. So I'm just sort of marking out where that's going to be. We have this beautiful shadow right there. And so if I left this like this, where you see this line, when I blend, it's just not, you're going to still be able to see that line. So what I like to do is I like to break it up a little bit like this. Do you guys see that? Where I'm now kind of breaking up that line. I know now in my head where that line is, but I want to break it up so that when I'm blending, you don't see the line at all. So I'm breaking that line up. Okay, so now we've got like a less defined line, and I want to go in and start putting some of this color in. And I'll clean up the edges at the end when I'm getting all the details and everything in the piece. Right now, I'm just wanting to get the basic color in. So here we go. All right. So I'd say that's kind of the brightest sections where I can use this. I was so excited. This is my favorite pastel to use because it has such a vibrant color. So when I saw this rose, I was really excited. I knew that was the color I was going to be using for it. Okay, and now this is almost, okay, this is so small because this is all I have left of it so far, but it is a very vibrant. Can you guys see the difference between the two? Is it too far away or can you see that?
A little hard to tell the difference.
Okay, okay. So it's a little bit more vibrant than it has a brighter tone to it. I'm just adding that to really make it pop. And now I'm going to go in with this right here and sort of.
Somebody's asking about what kind of gloves you're using.
So I am using just standard disposable latex gloves. I have tried a bunch of different gloves, and these actually work the best. And actually, I do get the question a lot, do I wear the gloves because it helps blending? And the answer to that is no. I think when you're blending with your fingers, it's a very wonderful experience, and it blends. The texture of our skin actually blends wonderfully with pastels. The reason I do use the gloves is because I paint every single day, and I do a lot of dark. And after some time, your fingers, your nails, everything permanently dye that color. And also because I'm working on a sanded surface all the time, I started wearing away my fingerprints. Like, I don't think I would have even had any anymore if I just kept going. So
that'd be great if you're a burglar.
I know, right? But yes.
What is the name of the color that you're using? Do you recall?
This is a unison color, but I don't remember the name. I pulled off all the wrappers that have the name and numbers on them. So I don't actually remember the name of this one, but it is a unison. And again, I'm going to blend all these in just a minute, but I'm just laying out the colors, and I'm going to do that for the whole thing. And then I'm going to do the blending, which is really cool because it kind of gives this dramatic effect. Okay, now I'm going to start getting in. We've got a dark red, and I'm going to start putting that in into some of the shadow areas. And when I decided to do this piece, because usually I do pieces that are, when I'm doing florals, I like to do like the inside and get some of the really cool details, you know, when the petal blooms. I mean, when all the petals bloom. And this one wasn't. And this is one of the few pieces that I did where it was more, as you can see, it hasn't really bloomed yet. It was definitely more closed off. And the reason I did that was, well, I don't know if you're interested in hearing a little bit about the background, or if you'd prefer I just stick to the art technical information.
This is your moment, baby. Do what you want.
Okay, so basically, I'll give you a little while I'm just putting in some of the darks in I'm gonna add a little bit one step darker. I'll add that in, and then I'll tell you about the background of this piece. Hold on. All right. So now this is a Terry Ludwig. It came in the I think it was like the intense dark set. And it's awesome. That set has some of the best darks ever. And I'm going to look how dark that is. I'm going to put that in, and then I'm going to kind of calm it down. So I know it seems really crazy dark right now, but I'm going to calm it down a little bit. But okay, so back to like why I even wanted to do this piece. So when I was growing up, my parents they immigrated to the United States from India. And I was born and raised in a suburb north of Chicago. And, you know, every night, so we didn't even miss one night, every single night, my parents would read us stories. And I think part of that was learning vocabulary, learning a little bit about American culture, learning about, you know, they were new to this country. And so we would read to us when we were really, really, really little kids. And we really loved fairy tales and folklore and things like that. And we had come across one of the original Beauty and the Beast scripts. So this was before Disney, you know, did the movies and everything. So we had read some of those, and they're very different. I mean, they have similar ideas, but they're a little bit different than what we saw in the movies. And after I read that, then I went into the Disney movie just to see what it was all about. And there's a scene in there, if anyone has ever seen Beauty and the Beast, there's in the Disney version now, there's a scene in there where it's very much about the rose. And when I photographed this painting, I mean, this rose, this part where I'm working on all the lights and everything, it had this sort of enchanted, magical feel to it. And that's what I was sort of inspired by when I was deciding to create this piece. So I was trying to capture a little bit of that magic and enchanting moment with that bright light that's coming in through here. All right, here we go. And I'm going to get a little bit more of the dark on this side. All right.
I'm very excited to be learning pastel. This is really awesome.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad to teach it. It's my favorite medium, like I said before. And if I can get anyone to try it, then that makes me excited. So, okay. Now I'm going to come down around here and start blocking in some of these other colors that are coming in right here. And I always like to go with the intensity a little bit more, and I go a little bit darker to start out with, and then I gradually lighten it as I go. So some of the colors you're going to see me putting down might seem very different than what you're seeing in the photo. And that is definitely intentional because I do want to enhance this, but also you're going to see I'm going to tone it down as I blend it. Because naturally when you blend, some of these colors are going to get into here. So you're not going to have as bright. So if I take it up a notch, then it won't get muddy and lose its intensity and become kind of in this grayish tone. So that's the reason why I do exaggerate some of the colors that you see in the photo. All right, and now I'm going to go and get, so right here between this dark shadow and this beautiful bright, almost lavender, I'm going to put this in to transition, make the transition a little easier and not as harsh. All right. And then even right here, the petal, and I'm using the edge of this kind of squared stick so that I can get a nice
Your
edge.
hair is blocking the camera.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Better?
I'm loving this, and I can't wait to as you get towards the end to see the blending take place.
I feel like that's the most fun part to watch is the blending. So I'm like getting all this in so that we can do the blending. Okay. There we go. And I'm almost there. I'm almost at that part. So let me just get a little bit more here. And I'm adding, again, a little bit of that same yellow that I added in here right into this section because there's definitely a little bit. And again, I'm exaggerating. It's not this much, but okay. I'm leaving, there's going to be a little portion here when I get to this section that's sort of jagged because there's a leaf that comes in. So I'm intentionally leaving that out. I'm going to kind of go around it. So here. There we go. And last part, I just realized right here, do you see how there's that like bright section right there where the light is catching the leaf? I want to put that in. So I'm going to quickly get that light, bright section in, and then I will blend. Okay.
Are you going to be only working on the rose portion, or are you going to be putting the stem and the green in later? Is that something
I was planning to just do this and then maybe show you guys some of the veining and the detail. I might have to zoom in a little if I do that.
Okay.
So you guys can see, but actually it's up to you. I could, whatever you guys want to see, I could, after I blend this, I could go into the leaf or I could go in and get the veining. So if there's any recommendations from...
Well, let's follow your plan for now.
Okay.
Because you have a good plan.
Okay, great.
The comments say you're a very good instructor, Sangita.
Oh, thank you. I love to teach and I love to be around people who love to, you know, do pastel. So this is exciting. All right, are you guys ready for the blending? This is my favorite part, so I'm excited. All right,
Drum
here
roll,
we go.
please. Blending.
Yay! Okay, I'm gonna start here. All right, so what I do is I'm going to do the darks first. I've got my, oh, I'm not going to use that. Okay, I've got my dark finger and I'm going to start going in and blending all of this. Okay. And I'm just following where the shadow is going at this point. So you'll see me like kind of going back and forth in these areas where there's a transition, because I'm kind of taking some of the lighter colors into the dark to lessen it a little bit. And then if I see it needs to be darker, I'll pull it back that way. Okay. So I'm just getting these shadows. And you can see, like, as you blend, this is just the beginning parts of it, it definitely softens the look of it. And the colors even change a little bit in the appearance because I'm now touching it. So the colors are getting blended with other colors and they're getting moved around. Okay, so we've got the, oh, hold on. We've got this dark section. I am about to switch fingers and start doing the lighter sections so that I don't mess up these colors. So here I go with a different finger. I'm going to go in and start getting some of these lighter colors in. And you can even see some of the well, okay, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can. Some of the pastel actually falling just because I have a really heavy hand when I'm working with pastels, so I push really hard on the paper. And when you're moving it around, some of it falls down, so that, because it was so many layers were on here. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to the dark finger to get this whole section, because I want to keep the light finger still for up here. So here I am. I'm gonna start transitioning these colors. Oh, do you see how some of the light just went in there? Can you guys see that little section or not so much?
We can see it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go and soften that whole area. And now I like to do like a tap. Do you see? It's like, instead of this now, I'm doing like tap, tap, tap. Hold on, I just noticed something right there I want to fix. Okay, and then right here. Here we go. And now we're going to go into here. And I love this part so much, I might bring it down a little bit to make it even larger. This beautiful, oh, and I'm going to go into the light section again. So different finger. And when I'm done blending this, you'll see in just a second, when I'm done blending, then I go back in and make sure if there were any colors that were not as saturated as I'd like them to be, I'll go back in with pastel again to make sure. Oh, is my hair? Is it my hair again?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Andrea is asking if you seal your work, because she knows some sealing tends to flatten light colors.
Right. And so no, I do not seal my work. I do not put fixative or anything on it. But I will tell you this. So like I told you guys before, I ship my artwork to galleries and they ship it to collectors everywhere. And so what I do is right before, when I'm finished, I'll pull this painting down and I will like pound on the back like this to get any loose pastel that wants to come off. And then I'll take it and shake it this way. Then I'll turn it and shake it the other way. Basically, I'm doing all the shaking now to get all of anything that wants to come off. And then I frame it. And so far, I have had very good luck with that. And the pastel it does stay on these very sanded surfaces.
Do you frame it under glass?
Yes, I do frame it under glass, and I use a spacer between the glass and the painting so that the paper isn't directly on the glass. Okay, I'm almost done blending this and ready to go back in and add some more color onto this, because there are some areas, I'll point them out to you before I fix them to show you what I mean. And then
what I want everybody to observe is what Donna Ebert says, the great instructing. I like her blending. I've not seen any other pastel artist apply it in this manner. Most say don't blend. I think one of the nice things about Pastel Live is that you're going to see a lot of different approaches, including people who blend.
Mm-hmm. Right. And the thing about blending pastels is that there is kind of like a whole art to blending pastels. You can't just blend them, because it's so easy to take away the integrity of these beautiful colors. They do get muddy very quickly, and the colors change if you don't blend correctly. Now, I want to, like I said, I'm exaggerating this to be like the biggest bright pop of light. So I want to go back in and get that even brighter than what my photograph is showing you. And now, yeah, there are so many ways to blend successfully, but you just have to kind of experiment and figure out what is the best way to not get the colors messed up. So I do understand where the concept has come from, like don't blend pastels, because if you do it wrong, it does not look good. But there is a right way and a wonderful way to do it where you can achieve what you want to achieve. Okay, so I just intensified that. I like it brighter like that. I think it makes for a more dramatic, it makes it even more dramatic than this photograph was. Now, right here in this section here, it's a little bit, I want it to be a little bit more pink rather than this sort of darker color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this pastel right over.
You're starting to block.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Thank you for the
Somebody
reminder.
asked if you mount your paper to a board before you frame it, or is it pre-mounted to a board?
Okay, so this is Art Spectrum Color Fix it was pre-mounted on a board. So this one I did not have to get mounted. I also really love to use UArt 400, and on UArt 400 does not come, okay, now they do come mounted, but a lot of time, if you get like certain sizes, it does not come mounted, and I get those mounted so that it's not just the flimsy paper. Because the thing is, I'm not matting, my work does not get matted. I directly put it in the frame with no mat around and just the spacer. So if it's paper, it'll probably be great for years, but over time it might start to wobble depending on the climate that it's being hung in. And so I get everything mounted so that it's on a nice, stiff, rigid board. Okay. So just kind of cleaning up some of those edges. And going in here. So at this point, what I usually do is I kind of sit back and I say, okay, now that I have this, the general colors, and I don't have the detail in yet, I don't have 100% where I want to go with this yet, but it's starting to have the colors in. Does this still feel like how I want it to feel? And for me, that answer is no, because what I really loved about this is this beautiful bright, and I think mine is lacking there, and so I need to go back in and get it. And it looked bright, but as soon as I put this in, it started to change because I think of that. And so I'm going to go back in and take my white, and I'm going to go back in and start capturing all of that. And I want you guys to look at my gloves. So I have to go get a different glove, because if I use this, actually, let me do it. I'm going to do a purposeful mess up. So this might be a little hard to watch at first because it's going to look so bad, but.
All right, everybody prepared. Everybody be prepared to say, "Oh no,
she messed it up."
All
yes, right. Get ready. Maybe sit down. Okay, ready? So if I don't change my gloves. Oh, it didn't look it didn't look that bad. I prepared you for. Okay, so it didn't. I from where I am, I can definitely see it, but I don't think you guys can see anything. So you know what? Let me just do. Okay, let me get my dark. Because I do think it's important to note. Okay, this you should be able to see. Oh no. Okay. Well,
so you have a new glove or not?
No, not yet. But do you see that? Do you see how that's now getting darker?
Yeah.
Instead of brighter. That's because I didn't. Generally, you just want to change your gloves. So I'm gonna go grab quickly a new glove. Okay, hold on. All right. So I have my new glove, and sometimes I just save one particular glove for like only the highlight. So now I have a brand new, fresh, clean glove, and I'm gonna go ahead and start blending that highlight in. Okay. And I'm gonna go back over it because I have that dark that I don't want in there. Okay. And I think a lot of it, because I do hyperrealism, so a lot of the like changing of the gloves and all of that, it's because every detail counts, right? Like every little, like people are looking close to see water drops and see veining and things like that. So if there's like a little bit of gray in that, you're definitely going to notice. You're going to see, and it's not going to look right.
I know you won't have time to do water drops today. Would you do that for us on your Pastel Live if possible?
Oh yeah, I would love to talk about that for.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's brighter here too. Yeah, because water drops are definitely. I have to be super zoomed in on for you guys to be able to see it. And you know how this was like, I went from nothing to this. that's slow and like not as dramatic of a demonstration. But I would love to talk about it at Pastel Live, about how I get incorporate some of the details into the work, because that's one of my favorite parts, is getting all those scratches and dents and water drops and veining, all of that stuff that goes into these pieces. Okay, so I started brightening it up. I like it brighter, and I know, okay, it's hard to tell because I don't have what's underneath here, but if I kind of cover that, you can, I don't know if that helps, you can kind of see how bright that is, and it'll pop even more when I start to get some of the stem in. And now I'm going to ask you guys, would you like to see, I could probably pull this in a little bit closer and start getting in some of the veining and details in this to really bring it to that hyper
I'm going to make
realism.
that decision for them. So here's what we're going to do,
Okay.
if that's okay, because otherwise it'll take too long.
Okay.
I'm going to just take you off camera for a second so you can get zoomed in.
Okay.
And I'll tell folks a couple of things, and then we'll be right back.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and get set up.
All right. So our guest today is Sangita Phadke. Oh man, I messed it up. I have a card here. Phadke. So I apologize for that. Anyway, I'm Eric Rhoads. This is Art School Live, and something very brief for you.
Join the world for Pastel Live, the ultimate pastel learning event, August 18th through the 21st. 4 days of online art lessons from top master pastel artists from around the globe. Learn to paint nature, people, cityscapes, flowers, and more. Become a better artist. Click the link to learn more and get our free ebook.
Want to remind you guys that we have prizes today. We're giving away the Plein Air Magazine apron, and you can win it from your comments. Just leave a comment, say where you're from, and that's in the replays too. You'll have a chance to win, and make sure that you subscribe on YouTube at Streamline Art Video, or follow me on Instagram if you don't mind. It's Eric Rhoads. Okay, tomorrow Ken Wilson is going to be our guest, and he's going to talk about painting with a palette knife for energy. You're going to get that tomorrow. Now we're going to get back to Sangita. She's going to do a little close up here so we can see the veins. All right, let's do this.
Okay, is this closer? Is this better?
It looks great.
Okay, let me see if I can bring that up a little. Okay, sorry for the wobble. I just adjusted. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to start working on some of the veining right in here. Just because I think that it's so fun to kind of see people doing details. Tell me if you can see any of this, okay? Can you see that? Can anybody see this?
Yes. Alexa,
yes.
What are you using?
Oh, okay. Yes, you're right. I'm now switched to pastel pencils. So here, I'm going to show you real quick what I have in my hand to do this. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me get them all. And I know they're not sharpened. I do not recommend this. You should sharpen your pastel pencils. But I have a habit of working with not sharp things. So here we go. This is what I'm working with. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm first getting in, when you're working with veining, there's going to be dark sections, and the way that they look 3D is when you put the light around it. So first I'm just blocking in some of the dark veining that's going in here. Okay. And there's one really, really like strong one coming in like this. Okay. Is this too subtle, or can you guys see this okay?
Well, it is a little subtle. It's a little hard to see, especially on a little tiny screen. It's all right. We get the idea. You might want to do one exaggerated just for the point.
Okay. Okay.
And are those Conte pastel pencils?
These are Faber-Castell pastel pencils. And okay, so the majority of them, these are Faber-Castell. This is a De La Rowney, if that's how you say it, I think. Faber-Castell has really, like, they're kind of a softer, creamier sort of pastel pencil. And so they work really well on, can you see that? Is that dramatic? Can you see that? I think so. Do you see the light going in around the veining a little bit?
Yes, we do.
Oh, good. Okay. So you guys, this is like I live for these sort of little tiny little intricate details. And when I'm live demonstrating, I do not get to do this because you're in an audience far away. So you can't see anything at all. And so I never demonstrate like the little teeny tiny details. And that's my favorite part.
Okay, so I'm going to change the game for you now because if you demonstrate at the plein air convention, we have cameras that zoom in on your work and we show them on big screens. So actually, it's like better than being at a live workshop. You can see everything in
Ooh.
detail. Ooh.
That's awesome. The people viewing must love that.
It's a lot of fun.
So I'm just now, this is just getting some light. So I'm working with, this pastel pencil to go around and really capture some of this. And it's very uneven. If you ever look at a rose petal, and it depends on the age of the rose petal, how long it's been off of the plant. You know what I mean? Like if it's older or newer, but depending on it, you get really cool wrinkles and ripples and things like that that come up into here, which are really fun to capture. So I'm just slowly, this does take it's snail's pace, basically. When people ask me how long it takes, this part is actually the quicker part. Going back in here and capturing all this takes so much longer. And it's probably not as fun to watch as a viewer, though I don't really know because I've never really demonstrated these little details. So you'll have to tell me what was more fun to watch.
Well, it's all fun to watch. And of course, you're not going to be able to get to a finished painting today, but we will ask that you post the finished painting once you're done. If you finish this particular one, that would be very nice. And it's always good to be able to see it.
Definitely. I will definitely. I'm on Instagram. I'll post. I might even do a video of it, like a reel. Not sure yet, but.
All right. I want to show everybody, in case they tuned in late, because a lot of people did, just show everybody real quickly a finished rose that is something that you had done. And so they can see that. There's a finished piece. Here is a yellow rose. Here's an iris. You can see the hyper realism that she does, just absolutely incredibly beautiful. And now you got a chance to see how she's doing it. So thank you so much, Sangita, why don't you come back on camera real quickly so we can see you.
Okay.
All right. So our guest today is Sangita Phadke. I think I got it right this time. And she's going to come back on camera here in a second. We're going to say goodbye. And but I hope you enjoyed that. It's kind of fun to see how everybody approaches things differently. I think, Sangita, you're the first hyper realist that I've ever had on my program.
Really?
I think so.
Wow, I'm very honored.
Yeah, the honor is ours. You did terrific. Terrific.
Thank you.
So what kind of thing are you going to demonstrate on Pastel Live? Have you decided that yet?
Oh yeah. So I found these bell peppers that, I'm not kidding you, like, you know, when you're walking through somewhere and something just catches your eye, that's what these were. Like it was like, I know I'm doing these. So I got these bell peppers, and the coolest part about them is when I'm working on my composition, I twist around, play around with how this is going to look together, right? Because I knew it was these two peppers together, and they both had stems that were curved in a very specific way. And there was this one moment when I moved them around where their stems were kind of almost, the stems were almost like, I don't know, it almost looked like an embrace. Oh. And so these two peppers, it was almost like this intimate moment between these two peppers that I caught. That's what I'm demonstrating. There are some really cool shadows in this piece. And because if you think of a bell pepper, like how would you call the like humps or whatever the curve of it. So you get a lot of really cool highlights and shadows in those areas as well.
So I'm going to give you a tip, just an idea. There's a famous bell pepper photograph by Edward Weston, who is no longer living. But if you search Edward Weston and bell peppers, it's a similar kind of thing. It's a very intimate feeling, and the light is just, they're kind of crawling all over each other.
Oh, I'm gonna go check that out.
Yeah, check it out. Well, we have had a ball having you on today, Sangita. Thank you so much for being a part of Pastel Live. We're excited that you're going to be teaching on it, and thank you for doing Art School Live today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for watching. I love sharing and demonstrating, so this was a really great day for me.
Okay, so just so we can find out where to find you, what's your Instagram handle? What's your website?
So I'm on Instagram. It's my first name, and I'll spell it for you. It's SangitaPhadke, and then Fine Art. So it's at
Okay.
Sangita Phadke Fine Art.
Okay.
That's Instagram, and my website is just www.sangitaphadke.com.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you so much today, and we'll have you back, and we'll see you in August at Pastel Live.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Well, that was really wonderful. I love it, and I'm getting excited about pastels and learning about that, and the intensity of color. You know, pastels, all color is made out of pigment, and pigment is basically ground powder, ground whatever the substance is, and so pastel gives you that incredible vibrance. You know, it's not floating in linseed oil or anything else. You can also get incredible vibrance in other ways, but this is really exciting for me. So thank you for watching today. Remind you to make sure that you leave a comment, and you'll get a chance to win a plein air apron. I'm Eric Rhoads, and this is Art School Live, and we really appreciate you tuning in every day at 12 noon weekdays. Have a great day, and keep your head in the game. We'll see you tomorrow. We got a great